Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, so just write the title Ma'adhur.
How do you spell that?
Ma'adhur, excused person. Okay, and we're going to write all these rules down in our books. So because this is a very difficult topic, and there's a lot of rules to do with this. Because what happens is, say if someone is a ma'adhur in the family, you're able to help them. And you can guide them and tell them the correct rulings. Many people are ma'adhur and they don't know it. And they don't know these rules. That's why their lives are very difficult. Okay, so ma'adhur. First of all, you need to understand what a ma'adhur is. Ma'adhur is, let's say a person has a constant nosebleed. And the nose is bleeding all the time. Or let's say they have constant urine drops, where the urine just comes out all the time. Or passing wind. So, many people have that, where they keep the wind keeps on coming up all the time. Or let's say you have a cut and it's always bleeding. So now, how does a person in that situation, how do they perform wudu and how do they do salah? Because their wudu is always breaking. Okay, so now this is what you call ma'adhur. Okay, so now we're going to discuss this in 3 sections. Number 1, how to qualify as a ma'adhur. So you can write that down. How to qualify as a ma'adhur. Okay, so there's 3 rules. How to qualify as a ma'adhur. Number 2, so now how do you know this person is a ma'adhur? What's the criteria? Someone might just be bleeding for a while and then afterwards they're fine. So will that person be ma'adhur or not? Yeah. And number 2, after now, let's say you're in the ma'adhur now. You're classified as a ma'adhur person now. So now what are the rules related to your wudu? When does your wudu break? When doesn't it break? Things like that. And then number 3 is how do you stop being a ma'adhur? So when will you not be considered as a ma'adhur anymore? Okay, so now going back to number 1. So how should we do this? What we'll do is we'll put number 1. So now these are your titles.
What do you do like 3?
So what we're going to do now, we're going to talk about number 1. Okay, so then you need to write these rules down. So this is under number 1. So maybe you can write number 1 again to show that this is connected to the number 1 on top. So write down, an entire time must pass that you are not able to perform wudu and the fard salah.
Yeah.
Salah. Okay, so this is very important. The entire salah time must pass that you are not able to perform wudu and the fard salah of that time. So you don't have so this will take about 5, 6, 7 minutes, let's say. So you don't even have 7 minutes to perform wudu and then the fard salah without your wudu breaking. And the entire salah time must pass. Okay, so this is Zohar. This is Asr. And this is maghrib. Okay, so now let's say I started bleeding at this point over here. Okay, so I haven't prayed Asr, so everyone pay attention to this. So now it's Zohar time, yeah? And this time has gone by, and I still haven't prayed Zohar yet, and I start bleeding now. So can I pray Zohar Salah at this point over here? Can I pray?
No.
No, what do I need to do?
Would you just do it later as a qada when you stop bleeding?
Not quite. What I have to do is I have to wait to see if my bleeding stops or not. So since I started bleeding over here, I'll wait until it gets to just, let's say, about 10 minutes left till Asr ending. So near the end of the Asr time. And there, if I'm still bleeding, what I'll do wudu and pray salah over here. Yeah? Just before Asr time starting. I'll do wudu and pray salah. Does that make sense? Yeah? So even though I'm bleeding, doesn't matter. I'll just do wudu anyway, and then I'll pray salah. and then Asr time will start. Let me just finish explaining, then I'll take any questions. So now what happens is, Asr time starts, and let's say I'm still bleeding. Yeah? I'm still bleeding. Bleeding. And now, let's say before the makruh time. So when does the makruh time start?
Just after Asr ends, just before Maghrib starts.
Just before Maghrib starts. So roughly that's about 25 minutes. So we'll put it over here. Yeah? Okay, 25 before Maghrib, you shouldn't be praying any salah. So what I'll do, I'll wait all the way until just before the makruh time, about here. And if I'm still bleeding, what I'll do, which salah will I pray?
Asr.
Yeah, I'll pray my Asr. So pray Asr. Yeah, and here I'll pray my Zohar, isn't it? Pray Zohar. Yeah, so here I'll pray. So this will be my Asr salah. Now let's say if all this time passes as well and I'm still bleeding. Sorry, forget that. Here. Now Maghrib time has started and I'm still bleeding. What has passed from Asr beginning till Asr end? What has happened?
You've been bleeding constantly, so you count as a ma'dur.
Yes. So the entire salah time must pass. So the entire salah time from the beginning of Asr until the end of Asr, the entire salah time has passed and I've been bleeding, haven't I? Does that make sense? So as soon as that happens, I will be considered as a what? Yasin? Ma'adur. Has everyone understood that so far? Because if you haven't understood the basics, then the detailed stuff will be very difficult. And then you're not going to understand anything. This is the basic.
Can you just repeat it?
Okay, so did you understand this rule? For you to be qualified as a ma'adur, the entire salah time must pass that you are not able to perform wudu and the farz salah. Yeah? So this person, they started bleeding from here, which is what time?
In the
Halfway
middle
through
of
Zohar.
Zohar time, isn't it? So they were bleeding over here and all the way till Asr. But we told them when to pray the Zohar salah?
Just before Asr starts.
Just before Asr starts, isn't it? Even though they were bleeding. Because they can't miss Asr, they can't miss Zohar. Even though they're bleeding, it doesn't matter, you still have to pray it. So we told them to pray the Zohar salah just before Asr starts.
Wait, so let's just say I'm still bleeding.
Yeah.
And it's still that time.
Yeah.
When I just ignore the bleeding and just do namaz.
Yeah, do wudu and pray namaz even though you're bleeding. Does that make sense?
Would then think we're wrong with that namaz? Would it just like...
We'll come to that. I'll explain that. We'll come into that. And then what happens when Asr starts, and Yasin, look over here. And then, am I still bleeding?
Yes.
Yasin. Yeah? So this is a red line to show the bleeding. So Asr starts and I'm still bleeding. Would I pray Asr now? No, because I'm still not in the ruling of a ma'adur. I have to delay my time. So I have to delay praying namaz. I have to wait and see if my bleeding stops, which is logical, isn't it? I can't pray while I'm bleeding. I have to wait and see. Maybe it'll stop later. So I wait, and I'm still bleeding, and now 25 minutes before the end of Maghrib. So Maghrib, let's say, ends over here. Yeah, this is the end of Maghrib, but this is a 25-minute gap. So the makruh time starts from here, isn't it? So I'd be delaying my asr until about over here, until there's about 5 minutes left, and after that it's going to go into makruh time. Does that make sense? So I'll delay my asr. And now if I'm still bleeding, what will I do?
Would you just do the namaz?
Yeah, I'll just do wudu again, and then I'll just do the salah. Yeah? Why? Because I can't miss my asr, can I? Yeah? It's a fard. And I can't delay it anymore because I'm going into makruh time of the asr makruh time, isn't it?
So you know that makruh time, is that still within the range of Asr?
Yeah, it's still asr time.
Okay.
Yeah, because right at the end of asr, isn't it? Yeah? Because maghrib time starts over here. Let me draw that in blue. Okay, so this is maghrib time. Yeah, so now I've done my... What salah yasin have I done here? Asr. And why didn't I do it just before maghrib? Like over here?
It's makruh.
Because it's makruh time. Okay, so now what happens? I've done my salah and there's still 25 minutes left, isn't it? And let's say I keep bleeding. Now it's hit. Now maghrib time has started and I'm still bleeding. Now what has happened is, from asr till maghrib, the entire time what's been happening, Yasin? Bleeding. And this goes back to our rule, isn't it? Entire salah time passes from Asr till maghrib, and I'm bleeding. Now what will I qualify as? Ma'dur. But what happens, let's say, what if, I'm going to rub this out. Okay, so this is our maghrib start time. And this is, let's say, our makruh time. Let's say, I started bleeding over here, just as usual. And keep bleeding. Asr starts, I keep bleeding. So I prayed my Zohar here, isn't it? Just before Asr. Now over here, my bleeding stops. What will I do over here now?
Asr.
I'll do my Asr. Is there anything wrong with my Asr then?
No.
No, I'll just do wudu as normal and I'll pray my Asr salah. Now what about my Zohar that I prayed? Because I prayed my Zohar while I was bleeding, isn't it?
Do you just ignore catching up? Cause that.
No, what I'll have to do qada. I'll have to do qada of that salah. Because that salah wasn't proper.
Wait, so would you do the 5 namaz or more for the qada?
Ignore that for now. Just understand the situation. Yeah? So because did I qualify as a ma'dur?
No.
No, because from Asr, the entire salah time didn't pass that I've been bleeding, isn't it? Although I started during Zohar time, but that was only, Zohar till Asr was only half a salah time, isn't it? So that's ignored. Yeah, that didn't make me a ma'dur. Now from Asr till Maghrib, I had to see, will I qualify as a ma'dur or not? But since I stopped bleeding around over here, before Maghrib ended, so did an entire salah time pass?
No.
No. So now, this showed us that I wasn't a ma'dur before. So now I can perform my Asr as usual, but I'll also have to repeat my Zohar because I wasn't a ma'dur before. Does that make sense? Have you understood that?
Wait, so would Zohar only be accounted for if you were a mattur?
Yeah. So now let's say I bled, I just keep on bleeding all the way until I hit Maghrib. Now I'm a ma'dur, isn't it? Now, and I prayed Asr over here obviously, just 25 minutes before the makruh time.
So,
My Asr counts and my Zohar counts as well, because I'm a ma'dur now.
because that bleeding period counted as made you a mattur, so would you say like all namazes in that bleeding period?
Yeah, they'll be valid. Yeah. So have you understood how to qualify as a ma'dur? Entire salah time must pass that you do not have enough time to make wudu and pray salah without that problem occurring. Whether it's bleeding, whether it's urine drops, whether it's passing wind, whatever it is. Yes.
You know, like how you said, like if it stops, how long would you say a stop is? Because like obviously you're not going to be like dripping urine for an hour and a half, like 2-3 hours straight.
Stopping as in you have enough time to make wudu and pray salah. Stopping for that long, because that's, look at the definition again, the entire salah time must pass that you are not able to perform wudu and the fard salah has to stop for that long. So if you could do wudu and pray your fard salah, would you be a ma'dur?
No.
No. Everyone understood that, Yasin? You sure? Okay. So now this person, they've just qualified as a ma'dur. Should we write the note? You know this situation, should we write the notes down in our books? Salah. Yeah? So get that down. That's your first note. Okay, that's the first bullet point. Second bullet point. And pray. Azar. Well done, you've qualified. You've got the qualification
Well
of
done.
being a ma'dur.
Well done,
Yeah.
you're bleeding out, you're probably going to die, but you're a mattur, that's
Yeah,
it.
so well done. You've achieved something. So if still bleeding at Maghrib time, you are now a ma'dur. Okay, let's write another bullet point. Okay, so the last sentence, if bleeding stops before Maghrib starts, you will not be a ma'dur and must repeat Dhuhr and Asr. Because an entire salah time did not pass, where you couldn't do wudu and salah. So the entire salah time has to pass. Okay, so that's our number one, qualifying as a ma'dur. Now, what was the second heading? Anyone?
Rules for Ma'dur.
Rules after qualifying as a ma'dur. Rules after qualifying as a ma'dur. Okay, so now after you're qualified, the rules are kind of different now. They're not the same as before. Now after you're qualified as a ma'dur, if the problem only occurs even once during that salah time, you're still a ma'dur. So let's say, so our guy, so we had a timeline. Yeah, so we had Zohar over here, and then we had, let's say, Asr over here, then Maghrib over here, then we had Isha, then we had Fajr, and then we had Dhuhr. Yeah? So when did our guy's bleeding start?
Halfway through first Zohar.
Okay, halfway Dhuhr. And it was bleeding all the way through, isn't it?
To Maghrib.
Yeah, so continuous bleeding, non-stop, till Maghrib. Yeah? Now let's say Maghrib started, and there's no bleeding. There's no bleeding. The bleeding only occurred over here, and there's no bleeding.
Sorry. If it happens once during the salah, he's automatically the Ma'dur is renewed and he's still Ma'dur.
Yeah. So I'm going to put qualified. So when did he became qualified over here, isn't it? It's qualified as a ma'dur at Maghrib time. Now he's an official ma'dur. Now the rulings are a lot relaxed for him now. As long as his problem occurs just once in the salah time, he's still a ma'dur. So even though, let's say, it occurred for 10 minutes over here, he's still a ma'dur. Now, and let's say he bleeds like another minute over here, he's still a ma'dur. So now his bleeding will not break his wudu anymore. So let's say he performs wudu, and then let's say he bleeds first over here, yeah, and then he performs wudu over here. He performs wudu, yeah. Now then 10 minutes later he starts bleeding again. Will that break his wudu? No. And then another 20 minutes later he starts bleeding in. Will that break his wudu?
Yeah.
Will that break his wudu?
And
No.
the bleeding will break his wudu.
No.
Oh wait, no, he's Ma'dur state, isn't he?
He's a ma'dur, isn't he? That's why it doesn't matter how many times this bleeding occurs now, his wudu will not break. He can pray salah, he can touch the Quran, he can do whatever he wants with that wudu. Does that make sense? Yasin, have you understood that? All he needs to do to still stay as a ma'dur is just bleed once. And his wudu is fine. Bleeding will not break his wudu again.
Surely.
Now, between Isha and Fajr, so you've done, so you're ma'dur between Maghrib and Isha, isn't it? Yeah, because you bled. Now let's say Isha starts, and as soon as Isha starts you bleed, yeah? For about 2 minutes. 2 minutes of bleeding. And thereafter, and then you do wudu over here, to obviously, you do wudu over here, let's say to just read some Quran or something. Yeah? And that's it, you bleed again. Will this bleeding break your wudu?
No.
Yasin, will this bleeding break your wudu?
You're still
No.
Ma'dur.
No, because you're a ma'dur. This bleeding will not affect your wudu anymore. It's like you've got an invincible wudu now. The only thing that will break your wudu actually is if you do something else. Let's say you go to the toilet, your wudu will break. Yeah,
Wait,
because that's
so-
not your problem, is
So
it?
you know how like there's the two things that break wudu.
Yeah.
So would you say the bleeding?
No, only this particular problem will not break your wudu. Everything else will break your wudu.
What?
Yeah? So let's say you guy has a nosebleed. Yeah? So now if pus starts coming out of his arm, is that the same problem?
No.
No. So it's only this particular problem that gives you your invincible. Okay? So now I've done wudu over here and I start bleeding. So Yasin, will this bleeding break my wudu?
No.
No. And am I still a ma'dur?
Yes.
Yasin, am I still a ma'dur between Isha and Fajr? Why?
Because you were qualified.
I'm qualified, and what makes me still stay as a ma'dur?
You were bleeding
At least?
once.
Yeah. So as long as you bleed at least once in the namaz time, you're still a ma'dur. Now let's say Fajr and Dhuhr. Between that, I didn't even bleed once. Will I still stay a ma'dur, Yasin?
Yeah.
No.
No. to stay as a ma'dur, I need to bleed at least once in that salah time. So Fajr time is a new salah until Zohar. So now if I don't bleed at all, I won't stay as a ma'dur. I'm not seen as a person with that problem anymore.
Oh.
Which is logically understood, isn't it?
Wait, you know, like even when you're on ma'thur, would you still wait until the end of the salah? Because let's just say, actually, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Would you still wait until the end of salah though, to perform?
No,
salah?
once you're ma'dur, you can, because that problem is forgiven now, isn't it? So that problem doesn't affect your wudu anymore. So you can pray salah whenever you want. Soon as Isha time starts, do wudu and do your salah, because that problem doesn't affect your wudu anymore. That's the whole point of being in a state of a ma'dur. If you still have to wait till the end of salah time, there's no point of being a ma'dur. There's no special benefits. Yeah? So that's the whole point of it. Okay, so now if I don't bleed from Fajr to Dhuhr, I'm no longer a ma'dur anymore. Now I need to pray my salah normally after that. So let's say from Dhuhr till Asr. Okay, has everyone understood that? Now for me then after that, for me to become a ma'dur again, I have to go through the whole same process of trying to be qualified as a ma'dur again. Does that make sense? Any questions on this so far? Yasin, did you understand everything? Because this is quite complicated. Okay, so now the question is, when does your wudu break? I want you to write this rule down. Are you listening? Okay, so now the rule is, as soon as a prayer time ends, your wudu breaks. So now let's say over here, so I'm a ma'adun, I'm going to rub this up for a new timeline.
Wait, so you know for that period that you think, actually no, ignore me.
Okay, maghrib. Okay, and then look this way.
Yeah.
Okay, so I done wudu. So now this is a rule that you have to remember. Every time a fard salah ends, my wudu is broken. So let's say I done wudu for Fajr. I woke up for Fajr over here and I done wudu. Now what will happen at sunrise? Sunrise is Fajr end time. So what will happen?
It's makruh to do salah.
What will happen to my wudu?
It will be lost.
My wudu will break. Because that's the time that Fajr ends, isn't it? Yeah? Did you understand that?
Nope.
Look at this rule. Your invincible wudu breaks by the ending of a fard prayer time.
Oh, yes.
Yeah? So as soon as a prayer time ends, my wudu is broken. So now at sunrise, what happens to the Fajr time?
It ends.
Ends. So what will happen to my wudu?
Because...
What will happen to my wudu? It breaks. Yeah? Now let's say I done wudu at just before Asr. Yeah? And I done my salah over here. So what will happen when for Dhuhr time? So I done wudu, then I prayed my Dhuhr salah, and then what will happen when Dhuhr ends?
You still get your wudu.
Sorry?
You still get your wudu.
Why? Remember the rule. What happens when the salah time ends?
Your
Breaks.
principal wudu breaks. But you never said you bled or anything.
Yeah, I'm talking about a ma'dur person, obviously.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
We've qualified now as a ma'dur. The person I'm talking about is a ma'dur person.
Oh.
So what will happen when Dhuhr time ends?
It breaks.
What breaks?
The wudu.
The wudu breaks. So likewise, when every salah finishes, when the salah time ends, your wudu breaks. Now for the next salah that you're going to perform, you need to redo a wudu. Does that make sense? Any questions on that so far?
What if you can't tell, like, if you're bleeding or not? Because let's just say you've got, like, you know those, it's like the wire, not wire, it's like, you know the white wire thing that you, like, wrap around your leg and, like, absorbs the blood.
If you've got a bandage on like that, then you won't be a ma'dur, because the bandage seals up everything.
Oh.
Or let's say a cast or something, or then you won't be a ma'dur. The ruling is just you don't have to wash that in wudu, you just wipe over, isn't it? Yeah, so that's slightly different. This is when it's flowing, continuously coming out.
Yeah.
Let's say like a nosebleed or something,
Oh, okay.
or urine drops or something. You can't just like put plaster on that. Yeah. Okay. Now next question. Let's say I do wudu. Let's say I pray my Fajr salah whatever, and then obviously my wudu. And then my wudu breaks, and then I want to pray some nafil salahs and read some Quran. So I do wudu. Over here. What happened when Dhuhr time starts?
Yeah, wudu will break.
Yasin?
Wudu break.
You're both wrong.
What? I'm so confused.
Why doesn't it break?
Can you repeat the question?
I do wudu over here.
Yeah.
So after sunrise.
Not one full period of salah.
I do wudu over here. And then Dhuhr time starts. Now we need to pray Dhuhr salah.
Oh, because a salah time hasn't started yet.
Of course, the Dhuhr time started.
As in like, because you haven't done wudu during a salah period.
Read the rule again.
At the ending of a fard prayer time. Exactly.
Your invincible wudu breaks by the ending of a fard prayer time.
At the end of a fard prayer time.
When
Dhuhr
Dhuhr
started.
When Dhuhr time started, has any fard prayer time ended?
No.
No. That's the reason.
That's what I just said.
You said something else.
No, I didn't. I just said...
No, you said because Dhuhr time has started, that's why it'll break. It's not breaking because Dhuhr has started. That's what you told me first.
I said it didn't break.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said
It's
it
still
did
recorded
break.
right
Okay,
here.
okay, sorry, I thought you said it did break. Okay, so then that's the right answer. Because there's no prayer time has ended. So that's why, if you do wudu over here, even after, same wudu, you can still pray Dhuhr salah. But now, let's say Dhuhr time ends, can you pray Asr with the same wudu?
No.
No.
Because the whole time's ended.
Yeah, because Dhuhr time has ended. Has everyone understood this rule?
So that's so weird though.
Yeah? Have you understood that rule?
Yeah.
And this will continue. For some people, this thing continues for the entire life, where they're ma'dhur.
Really?
Yeah, some people have a constant passing of wind, some people have a constant passing of urine. They can't control it. It's just, that's how they are. Some people it's temporary. Let's say you're bleeding or something. Okay, but Yasin, when will someone stop being a ma'dhur? When they go back to when?
By the end of each salah.
No.
When they stop being a ma'dhur
When
completely.
the bleeding just stops.
How long does it need to stop for?
For the duration of one salah.
Yes. So when an entire salah time goes by and they haven't bled even once, then they're not a ma'dhur anymore. Now, in order for them to become a ma'dhur again, they need to go through the qualifying rounds again, where an entire salah time has to pass and they still can't do wudu and salah without bleeding. Does that make sense? So are there any questions that you haven't understood on ma'dhur? So just write that sentence down at the end. Ma'dhur.
Wait, so you know?
So, and if you have, you need to be able to read all your notes. If you can't, you need to rewrite them, because then there's no point writing those there.
You should read out your notes.
Any questions on ma'dhur? Everyone understood everything. So a quick recap before we finish the ma'dhur section. So Yasin, how does a person qualify in being a ma'dhur? So there are three sections, isn't it? Number one, how to qualify, the rules after you've qualified, and how you stop being a ma'dhur. 3 sections.
You qualify when the entire time must pass that you are not able to perform wudu and for salah.
Yeah, unless without that problem occurring. Yeah. So from Dhuhr till Asr, the entire time you're bleeding, and now so that's how you become a ma'dhur. Once you become a ma'dhur, what needs to happen for you to stay as a ma'dhur?
You have to. Your problem has to occur at least once the salah period.
Yeah, once in the salah period, you're still a ma'dhur. So now, Yasin, once you become a ma'dhur, what benefits do you get of joining the ma'dhur club? What benefits do you get? Yeah. So that's the benefit that you get. So even though you're constantly bleeding, you don't have to wait till the end of salah time, because at first it's quite annoying, isn't it? You have to wait all the way till the end of salah time and then you have to perform your salah. So now once you're in a state of ma'dhur, you don't need to do that anymore. Just even though you're bleeding or whatever is happening to you, just just perform wudu and pray your salah. That's the benefit that you get of being a ma'dhur. So you can just ignore your problem. So do you see how it makes your life a lot easier? So imagine you lived about 20 years and you've had let's say a constant urine problem and you didn't know the rules of ma'dhur and you're trying to pray your salah on time. Imagine how difficult your life will be. I've spoken to so many people that they're ma'dhur and they didn't know the rules of ma'dhur.